Hollow Knight, a game that came out in 2017, is a game that I've always wanted to play, but I've never really found the time to. But after seeing how much the fans loved Hollow Knight Silksong and seeing it nominated for so many things in Game of the Year, I figured I'd throw my hat in the ring and finally 112% Hollow Knight. So, let's start off with the lay of the land. In order to 112% the game, I need to get a total of 35 trophies on PlayStation, consisting of 18 bronze trophies, 11 silver trophies, and 5 golden trophies. Then once I get all those trophies, I'll be able to claim the coveted platinum trophy for Hollow Knight. And step 1 to 100%ing the game is just doing one normal game playthrough, because you don't need to do any new game pluses in this game to get 112%. You can backtrack and get all the trophies in the same run. So the first step is to start up a new game. And quickly into my first playthrough, I encountered my first boss. And I did better than I expected because I was actually able to beat him first try.
Come on, baby. Homie, that's first try. And the first trophy has been awarded. Defeat the false knight.
As you can tell, I was pretty happy about defeating my first boss on my first try. Little do I know what I have in store for myself later in this video, but let's not worry about that for now. Shortly after I defeated my first boss, I got my second trophy.
And another trophy, baby. Acquire my first charm. Oh yeah.
Then after some exploring around the map, I was able to find my second boss, and this one was a little bit more challenging, but inevitably in the end I was able to take her down and claim yet another trophy.
Yes! Test of resolve. What? I didn't even get to kill her?
Yep, and despite my disappointment of not being able to finish her off, that's okay because she's actually a good person in the story. I think. She's the main character of Silksong, so I think she's a good person. But regardless of that, I'm making good progress towards 112%ing the game. Surely nothing can go wrong and derail my progress, right? No. I got lost for like 3 hours roaming around the same parts of the map over and over and over again, and I didn't get a trophy within a span of 6 hours. But then I got back on track. Alright, and down she goes again, and there's another trophy. Proof of resolve. Then, after defeating her for a second time, I was able to collect my first 4 of 12 mask shards, giving me a trophy. And if you don't know what the mask shards do, every time I collect 4 mask shards, I unlock 1 more health on my health bar. And just like mask shards, there are also vessel fragments, which give me some extra soul meter, allowing me to heal and use abilities more, which also gives me a trophy. Alright, and while I'm working my way towards getting all the trophies, I'll quickly explain to you the lore of the game and what I'm doing to actually beat the game for the first time. So there was this Hollow Knight that sacrificed himself because of some virus or something like that. And there's these 3 dreamers that have the Hollow Knight trapped in a big black egg, a BBE if you will. And I need to defeat these 3 dreamers in order to free the Hollow Knight from the black egg and face him as the final boss. And obviously while I'm working towards that goal, I'm also getting some more trophies along the way. But anyway, now that I've told you about the dreamers, I'm now on my way to defeat one of the dreamers. And each of the 3 dreamers are protected by their own boss. But lucky for me, this dreamer was protected by the least powerful boss, Imu, which I was able to take down swiftly and eliminate or put to rest or whatever I'm doing to this person in order to claim my first trophy for one of the dreamers. Then, after defeating my first dreamer, I made my way to the second of 3 dreamers. And this was genuinely the first time of many I wanted to rage quit the game, because the boss protecting this dreamer are a bunch of guys who just jump and roll around, and you don't have to fight 1, you have to fight 2 at a time at all times. On top of that, I was also pretty under leveled at this point, not having any of my sword upgrades. I also didn't have any of the useful charms in this game, but the one thing that made me hate this fight the most was this fuck ass trip I had to take every time I died to this boss. Now, I don't know what it is, but for me in particular, I hate tedious shit. And this game loves to spawn you in like the most useless locations and not actually right near the boss fight. I had to come all the way over here to the right, go up here. Then I had to go up here, which sometimes I would take damage to that guy over there. Then sometimes this elevator wouldn't be down, so I'd have to call it down. Then I have to go all the way to the left, go up here through another loading screen. Then this elevator wouldn't be down sometimes, so I'd have to call it down. Then I make it to the boss fight. And as you can see, at this point, I already developed a strat where once I go up the elevator, I send it straight back down so I can already have it set there after I respawn again. But man, I don't know what it was about this route, but I hated running it every single time. Like, it just frustrated me so badly. But anyway, crash out aside, I was able to defeat the boss and collect yet another dreamer.
Wake up. 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 Very bright. Watcher. Destroy Illyrian of the Watcher.
Then, after defeating the second Watcher, before I could defeat the third Watcher, I got some trophies along the way.
Grub friend. Rescue half of the imprisoned grubs. Hi. Oh. Enchanted. Acquire half of Hollow Nest charms. Cartographer. Acquire a map of each area.
And for the next trophy, I had to fight a Dream Warrior, because every time you kill a Dream Warrior or a Dream Boss, they give you Essence. And for this trophy, I needed only 600 Essence in order to get the trophy. And there are 2 more trophies tied to Essence that I need to get, which is important because at each Essence milestone, you have to go to this Seer, and she'll give you various rewards, but I need to get to those 2 milestones to get Vessel Fragments and Mask Shards, to get a full 12 of 12 of each of those, to get 2 more trophies. So the Seer is very important in this game because she will reward me with a total of 5 trophies by the end of this playthrough. But anyway, after getting those trophies, I made my way to the third Dreamer, where I got lured into this very obvious trap, where once I sat on this bench, a bunch of these cult members gathered up and ganged on me. Very, very creepily, might I add. Then they got me trapped in this disgusting spider area on the map, and if you have arachnophobia, I recommend not watching this part because there's spider webs and spiders everywhere. But after I escaped the trap they put me in, I was able to free the last Dreamer and release the last seal on the big black egg, which also gave me a trophy.
Destroy Harath the Beast.
And after defeating the last Dreamer, that means I've unlocked all the seals on the Black Egg, meaning I can now fight the Hollow Knight and beat the game for the first time. And I'm a man of action, so I went straight to the Hollow Knight to show him who's boss. I died a lot. But eventually, I was able to defeat the Hollow Knight and beat the game for the first time.
Yo. Can I kill him? Oh, please say he's dead. Come on. Focus. Oh, I'm sucking him up. The Hollow Knight. Defeat the Hollow Knight and complete the game. Woo! Game complete. Let's go.
Now, after completing the game, I still have a lot of trophies to get. And I haven't even nearly scratched the surface on how hard some of these trophies can be. So before going into the God Home and doing all the Pantheons, which I'll explain to you more about later, I'm gonna do some cleanup and get every other regular trophy before attempting to do all the Pantheons, which starts with the Challenge Arena trophies. There's a total of 3 Challenge Arena trophies for each arena, with the challenges getting progressively harder each arena. And I was able to complete Challenge Arena 1 and Challenge Arena 2 pretty easily, especially Challenge Arena 1.
Zote? Nah, are you dead ass? Are you serious? Yo, I don't want to do Zote dirty though. He kind of go. Okay, I did Zote dirty. He's still with us? Oh. Nope, he's dead. Alright, I did it. Warrior. Complete the trial of the warrior. Nice.
And for some context, Zote is basically just an old head who talks about how good of a fighter he is and stuff like that, but he's super cute and he wouldn't even harm a fly. That's why I was a little upset that I had to defeat him, but I gotta do what I gotta do to get these trophies. So moving on to the second challenge arena, this one was pretty easy too. All I had to do was defeat a couple of these big buggers, and I was able to claim yet another trophy.
Yeah! Woo! Alrighty. The Conqueror. Complete the trial of the Conqueror. Nice.
But for the third trial chamber, the Trial of the Fools, this is considered to be either the second or third most hardest trophy in the game. So I attempted this for hours, but I wasn't able to complete it. But I wasn't fully maxed out yet, and I was missing one very important piece to my arsenal, which is a charm called Unbreakable Strength, which gives you a 50% strength increase. So before completing the third trial chamber, I got Unbreakable Strength. And to get Unbreakable Strength, I needed to call in the Grim Troop. The Grim Troop is a DLC added to Hollow Knight and is the reason why you don't 100% the game, you 112% the game. This is also important because later in the video, I'm going to need to get multiple trophies regarding the Grim Troop storyline. But for now, I was able to give my Fragile Strength charm to this lady who pooped out the Unbreakable Strength charm, which made me have the power to defeat the third trial chamber. Okay. Spit and roll. Long range, wait for the roll, get your licks in. Long range, wait for the roll. He does a spit. Okay, the spit is just too overpowered for me to even dodge. He does a roll. And then he jumps to where I was. What the fuck? Oh my god. Oh my god. I did it. Is that it? Or is there two phases? Oh my god, please say I did it. Come on. Give me the trophy. Give me the trophy. Yeah, baby! Oh my god, that took way too long. Fool, complete the trial of the fool. Yes. Then, after completing the third and final trial, I went around the map doing all the cleanup trophies. Like finding all these grubs around the map, getting all the stag stations unlocked and finding the stag nest, finding all 12 of the vessel fragments, and finding all 12 of the mass shards. Which was easier than it sounds, because to get the mass shards, I need to collect a flower from this lady and bring it all the way across the map without taking a single hit of damage. Now, usually this takes up to 1 to 2 hours to do, but for me, of course, I'm an ultimate gamer, and I did it first try. Which, to be honest with you, wasn't that hard, but still did take a long time because I was taking it very slow, as you can see by the 500x speed in the background. But I was able to make it to the last part, which is just a bunch of spikes that even if I nick, I would have to start all the way from the beginning. Okay. And do I press inspect? Oh my gosh, I think I did it first try. Okay, nice. I think now all I need to do is go back to where I picked up the flower originally, and then it should be complete. So now if I go back into her building and talk to her, she should give me the Solence trophy, which I bring peace to the Grey Murmur, and she should give me the last mask shard. Oh, that's not how you say that. The last mask shard for the mask shard trophy. Masked. Acquire all the mask shards. Okay, nice. Then I started to get some of the Grim Troop trophies, and basically what you need to do for these trophies is babysit Grim's child through 3 battles. Then you can go back to Grim and face him for a trophy. And the first version of Grim is pretty easy, as you can tell by my reaction. This down. If it starts up, it's straight down. If it starts down, oh, did I do it? No way I did it that quick. Come on. That wasn't so bad. Grand performance. Defeat Troop Leader Grim. Oh, that's a trophy? Dude, didn't take me that many tries. Nice. As you can tell, I thought the Grim Troop trophies were going to be easy, but little did I know what I had in store for the next trophy. For the next Grim trophy, I had to do the same thing and babysit the Grim child for 3 more mini-bosses. Then, this time, instead of fighting normal Grim, I have to fight Nightmare King Grim, which is one of the 3 hardest bosses in this game. And this took me a lot of attempts. And trust me, just by you watching the fight, you can see how hard it is, just simply because of how fast the attacks come at me. But after about an hour and a half, I was able to defeat him and claim the trophy. Oh my god, did I do it? Oh my god. Oh my god, I did it. Ah, that was a hard boss fight, dude. There it is, Nightmare's End. Complete the tale of the Grimtroop. Okay, finally. That took so long, man. Jesus Christ. But luckily for me, there isn't a harder version of Grim that I have the verse after that, which means I've completed all of the Grimtroop trophies. Next, I got a total of 1800 essence, which allowed me to gain the Awakened Dream Nail, and also gained me a trophy. But with this Awakened Dream Nail, I am now able to enter the White Palace. This is important because I need to enter the White Palace to get the second half of this White Mask charm so I can complete the Gather All Charms trophy. And to get the second half of the White Mask, I have to go through a bunch of annoying parkour, which definitely irritated me a little bit. And for whatever reason, this specific part pissed me off so much.
Is there a gap? Motherfucker. Motherfucker. Motherfucker! What the fuck? Dude? What happens if I die, dude? Oh, we're gonna fucking find out!
It annoyed me a little bit, but in the end, I was able to get the White Mask, and then all I had to do was go down into the dark, dark, deep abyss, look at my own reflection, realize how chopped I am, climb up the abyss, get betrayed by a clone of myself, fall all the way back down the abyss, then get the last charm I need to get the trophy. But there's one more step. I need to buy Salubra's Blessing, which then she'll give me a very unconsensual kiss, by the way, but that's fine because I gain her blessing and acquire the trophy for getting all the charms in the game. Now I only have a few cleanup trophies left to do before going and attempting the Pantheons. What I have to do next is complete the Hunter's Journal and receive the Hunter's Mark. To do this, I need to fill out my Hunter's Journal completely with every entity I can encounter in the game, which wasn't too hard because I've already encountered most entities. The only ones I was missing was the Menderbug and the Radiance. Now, for the Menderbug, this little guy is a creature that goes around fixing all the signs that I break. So to get this guy, I need to keep dropping down this hole with my Descendant Dark ability until eventually I can catch him off guard fixing this sign and add him to my book, which took surprisingly long.
Oh my god. Dude, I've been frickin' diving in this hole for like an hour. Alright. Finally, I added the Menderbug to my journal.
Next, I need to add the Radiance to my logbook. The Radiance is the true ending final boss of this game and is also tied to a separate trophy outside of the logbook. I needed to go around the map and find mushrooms for some reason. Unfortunately, I don't have the footage of me getting the mushrooms, but once I get the mushrooms, the Herald will swoop in during the final boss fight against the Hollow Knight and put him in a position to where I can Dream Nail the Hollow Knight. This will then unlock the Radiance. And what the Radiance is basically the Hollow Knight bared all the weight of this crazy virus, and the Radiance is the virus. So in this true ending, I'm going in the Hollow Knight to defeat the virus once and for all.
Oh, shit. I'm beating her ass. That's a crime. I can't hit women. Assuming she's a woman, which I shouldn't be doing because it's 2026. Sorry for assuming genders.
And after making the career-ending mistake of assuming genders in 2026, I got the trophy Passing of Age, where I aided the Herald in moving on, which also added the Radiance to my logbook. And now I only need to discover one more creature to complete the logbook, which was this little guy, which I just found roaming across the map, and I didn't even know I was gonna get a trophy for it.
What? I got a trophy. Keen Hunter. Record all of Hollow Knight's creatures in the Hunter's Journal. Oh, nice. I didn't even know I was going to get that trophy. Cool.
Which was a pretty anticlimactic way to finish the journal. But anyway, with all the journal entries now recorded, I can go over to the Hunter and claim the Hunter's Mark for the second last cleanup trophy.
And there it is, True Hunter. Receive the Hunter's Mark.
And for the last trophy before going into the Pantheons, I had to defeat this one last dream boss to get a total of 2400 essence, so I can go to the Seer and claim the last essence trophy.
And just like that, Ascension. Collect 2400 essence and hear the seer's final words.
Now, what you've all been waiting for. The true challenge of this game. The Pantheons. There is a total of 5 Pantheons in this game. And what the Pantheons are arenas consisting of bosses that you fight in back-to-back-to-back order. With each arena from Arena 1 to Arena 5 getting progressively harder as you go on. With the arenas 1 through 3 being the easiest, I was able to breeze through these arenas with no problem.
Bingo, bango. Trial number 1, finito. I did it. Wow, that's crazy. I was 1 health. All right, cool. Second trial done. Let's go. Let's go. Come on now. Third Pantheon, baby. 3 of 5.
Now, with challenge arenas 1 through 3 complete, the real challenges can finally begin, because arena 4 and 5 exponentially jump up in difficulty, with 5 genuinely bringing me to my breaking point. But before I can do 5, I have to complete the 4th challenge arena. And I'll also get a trophy for completing the 4th and 5th challenge arena, unlike the first 3. So for the 4th challenge arena, it's more of the same back-to-back-to-back boss fights, all the way up until I get to the final boss of the fight. And for the final boss of the 4th Pantheon is the Pure Vessel, which in my opinion was the second hardest boss in the game. I say second hardest because you will definitely see the first hardest boss at the end of the 5th Pantheon. But for now, the Pure Vessel is just a Hollow Knight on crack. He moves at the speed of light, deals 2 damage instead of 1 damage, and every time I wanted to face him in the 4th Pantheon, I had to go through a bunch of other bosses, which took about 10 minutes each time just to face him once. But luckily for me, under the Pantheon arenas, there are statues of all the bosses and entities I've encountered throughout the whole game, allowing me to practice each of them as many times as I want. So I sat here and I practiced the Pure Vessel fight for hours, until I was able to beat him consistently on an even harder difficulty, where every hit he did 4 damage instead of 2, doubling his damage. I did that until I was ready to face him in the 4th Pantheon, go through all the bosses, and finally beat the 4th Pantheon to get the trophy.
Come on, baby! Come on, man! That's that 4th Pantheon. Ooh! Oh my god, man. Oh my god, this ain't even the hardest one yet. Oh my god! That feels good, though. Come on. Now I can 100. Oh, there it is. The Soul and Shade. Complete the Pantheon of the Night. Oh my god. Oh my god. I'm literally speechless, man. That took a long time. That took a long ass time, man. Oh.
Yes, sir. And now, after completing the 4th Pantheon, the game recognizes that as a 112% completion. And with that 112%, I can go back to the big black egg and beat the game one last time to get the trophy for beating the game on 112% completion. There it is, pure completion. Achieve 112% game completion and finish the game. Now, one trophy remains, and that trophy is what I get for completing the 5th and final Pantheon. But the 5th Pantheon is unlike any of the other Pantheons I've done before. It is all 4 of the Pantheons I've done before combined into one long trial that takes in total about an hour to complete. And all the bosses are set to their hardest difficulty. So I'm going to need to do a lot of training in order to make it all the way to the final boss of this fight, which is the hardest boss in the game. But I can't even practice that boss right now because I actually need to make it all the way to the end of this Pantheon in order to even unlock the final boss so I can practice him and finally beat him. So the first thing I did was go down to the practice statues under the Pantheons and complete all the bosses on their hardest difficulty. As you can see here on this checklist, all the bosses have this white symbol beside them, which means I completed them on the difficulty that they do 2x damage to me and they have double the health. So after I did this and was able to confidently beat most of the bosses on their harder difficulty, I went and did countless Pantheon attempts. But I kept on faltering right at the end, because at the end, not only do you have to fight some of the hardest bosses in the game, the fact that you have to fight all these bosses back to back to back just makes it even worse. And at the end of the Pantheon, you have to fight Nightmare King Grim and the Pure Vessel, 2 bosses of which I struggled on greatly earlier in this video. But through sheer determination and desire to beat this game, I powered through and finally got a run where I beat Nightmare King Grim and beat Pure Vessel to finally unlock the ability to even be able to practice the hardest boss in this game. Just to unlock Absolute Radiance, I can do this all over again and beat that bitch. Let's go! Come on! I have unlocked the Absolute Radiance boss fight. Hopefully I don't die, but this is literally the first time I'm doing the fight. I did all of that just to unlock the ability to be able to practice this fight. Let's freaking go. Absolute Radiance, baby. Okay. Okay. Alright, there's a lot happening right now. Okay. And she does 2 damage, and I'm already 1-shot. And I believe this is the first phase. And I'm dead. I did it, though. All that mattered to me was unlocking the absolute motherfucker and being able to actually practice her. So now, next time I get to her, hopefully I'll beat her. And thus, the practicing begun. And I practiced this boss for a very, very long time. But this boss gave me the most challenge of any boss in this game. It took me 3 hours to even beat him one time, and I want to be at a point where I can beat him consistently, so when I make it to him at the end of the Pantheon, I can beat him once and for all. So I did. I practiced and I practiced and I practiced. I beat him, I died, I beat him, I died, but then I decided to go to the Pantheon to attempt him because I was getting sick and tired of practicing him. Something I could have never prepared for happened. I was able to beat the Pure Vessel, then make it to the final stage of Absolute Radiance on full HP. And the final stage is the easiest stage by far. But something I could have never prepared for happened. And I'll just let it explain itself. On the easiest part. Oh my god. On the easiest part, I was full health. There is literally 0
ways to get closer than that. That was the easiest phase of the boss, too.
By far the easiest phase.
I want to fucking kill myself, man. In GTA. Of course.
Yup. I wasn't very happy with myself. Rightfully so, because literally every single time I practiced this boss and made it to the final phase, I did not die. So the fact that I was full HP and made it to the final phase of the boss is the first time I died after going through an hour of the Pantheon is insane. But after a good days of rest, I got back on the game, practiced the fight a little bit more, and this time I wasn't going to mess up.
I can freaking do this. Bro, I know I can do this shit, man.
It's a good first phase. Let's have a good second phase, baby. Come on.
Yeah! Oh my god! Oh my god! Yes! Oh my god! Oh my god, I gotta attack. Oh my god. Oh my god, I gotta attack. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god, I can't even sit down right now. Oh my god. Where's my chair? Okay. Oh my god. I did it. Oh my god. Pop me the trophy. Come on. Yes! Embrace the void. Ascend the Pantheon of Hollowness and take your place at its peak. And Heart of Hollowness, the Platinum Trophy, has been acquired. Ah! Man, I'm happy. That took way too long. As a matter of fact, it took precisely 110 hours of playtime for me to get that goddamn trophy. Look at this. It is 3:29 a.m. on a Saturday night. I played this shit all night. That was a really hard trophy. If you liked the video, you know, like the video. If you really like the video, subscribe, because I'm going to be doing more platinums. I'm probably not going to play a game as hard as Hollow Knight for a little bit, because my brain is a little fried from just fighting bosses over and over and over again and dying over and over again, but that's alright. But, yep, like, subscribe. Love ya. Did you hear that? I'll give you a kiss.